We're on Radharaman.
Don't put it on Radharaman.
No? It's been good.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Dandava Pranam, Radhe Radhe, welcome.
Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna.
It's been good.
Nuns there. Don't worry. Radhe Radhe Devaki, Jiva Pavana Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
What's up, Sudevi? Let us begin.
Srila Gurudev ki jai,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai, Gopal Guru Varga ki jai,
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
jai, Pratipadan Shri Nityanand Prabhu ki jai,
Jai.
Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaura Hari ki jai,
Jai.
Shri Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai,
Jai.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai,
Jai.
Hari Nama Sankirtan ki jai,
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande
Hari
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 Hari Bol.
Ho.
So we're going to start with Mangalacharan on page 1. Let's see. There we are. Hare Krishna. Starting with Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam. In this book here, Shri Gaudiya Gita Gucha, page 1. Vandeham, Vandeham. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahavana Raghunatham Vikantam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadhutam Arjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahavana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamshra Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayanitti Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudasham Audarya Madhurya Gunashcha Yuktam Paramarinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasha Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanincha Shri Krishna Padajiputaika Hriddi Chaitanya Leela Amrita Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachaline Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Deshatarine Namah Vishnupadaya Gaura Presthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyano Keshava सत्यचरित्राय स्वश्रितानञ्चपालिने जीवदुःखे सदयताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवर्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बन्ध विज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये विनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तोद्भवहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगमनायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णवः सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते रूपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो पङ्गो मम मन्दं नते गति मत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमालो श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेव पृष्ठानिभिः सेव्यमानः स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे मम शिवतत्त्वतस्थितः कर्षन्देनुस्वरदोऽपि गोपीनाथश्रीस्मृतः वृन्दाये तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं गुरुवर्धनं प्रतिपा सर्वात्मा सपनं परं विजयते श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तनम् हरे नाम हरे नामेव केवलम् करुणस्तेव नस्तेव गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
Page 359. So it starts with Guru Charana Kamala, C-A-R-A-N-A, Guru, C-A-R-A-N-A, Kamala, K-A-M-A-L-A.
359, right?
Yes.
You've also been requested for Sundar Lala Sachurati Lala
Nice.
by Hari.
Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu, for always providing for everyone.
Thank you.
And the nectar. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman. Shri Guru
Charana Kamala Bhajaman. Charana Kamala
Hari Haraye Namah Krishna. Hari Haraye. It's praying for the dust of the lotus feet of the six Goswamis and the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Page 148. Connection is okay?
Yeah.
So it starts with Hari, Haraye, Hari, Haraye. And the name of the kirtan is Shri Nam Kirtan. But it's one of the most beautiful prayers for the mercy of the six Goswamis and for aspiring for the mercy of the Vaishnavas.
And if you don't have the app or you don't have the songbook, Jiva Pavana Prabhu mercifully does the kind seva of adding it to the thread. So if you scroll down, you will find that it is already there.
That's it. Sri Chaitanya
Krishna
Yes. Guru Sukir Kavorga.
It's page 164, and it starts Bado-Sukher. Bodo Sukher.
What page is it?
164.
164. Patipavan Shinityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. How's the signal?
Perfect.
Still going? Yes. Sudevi. It's not Kinta. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Oh Bhakta-Vrindavashi Bhagata Bhakta-Vrindavashi Adhikari Dekhe Naam Vichedaro Kashi Sajagi Naam Kimme Bhai Sajagi Naam Kimme Bhai Amar Sange Chalo Mahajanir Kache Jai O Tumi Kimbe Krishna O Tumi Kimbe Krishna Dasturi Lori Boyami Purna Bhaveka Amaro Doya Nityananda Amaro Doya Nityananda Shraddha Matra Loye Din Paromayananda Shraddha Matra Loye Din Paromayananda Dekar dekle chame jai Dekar dekle chame jai Gaura bole nitai din sakala sambhav O din Shuddha Krishna Shiksha O din Shuddha Krishna Shiksha Jati Dhanna Vinda Bolo Nankole Amrita Amani Chari Maya Jai Amani Chari Maya Jai Obihe Kakno Bode Bhagonatha Vijanja Ar Nai Kokale Bhona Ar Nai Kokale Bhona Achandale Ninnam Vitai Goyamo Achandale Ninnam Vitai Goyamo O Bhakti Vinoda Dakiko O Bhakti Vinoda Dakiko Nikai Chagar Chara Vinaya Nahi Ashray Nikai Chagar Chara Vinaya Nahi Ashray O Bore Shunkara Kapur Jai Boro Shunkara Kapur Jai O Sudevi Kunjete Naver Hakule Che Kudankai Shri Hari Kirtana mein.
Is that in the book? Is that in the...
I'm pretty sure it's in the songbook, yes.
No, I mean... The app?
Oh. Yeah, but Jiva Pavan goes to KK songs and then goes to
Okay.
so Sundara Lala Sachira Dulala Nachata Shri Hari Kirtaname, page 361.
Starts Sundara. Sundara.
Shri Sachinandana Gaura Hari Jai Sundara Lala Sachina Dulala Rachata Shri Hari or Radha Krishna together. I'm just looking for. Excuse me. I was looking through the section on Radha Krishna and it's giving so many different versions, but not, they're all the ashtakams. Soy Keva Shunailo Shyamana. Page 183. Soy Keva Shunailo Shyamana. Ready? 183. SOI, Soy. Keva Shunailo
Kishori.
पार्षद वृंद की जय, नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम शशिनंदन गौर हरि की जय, राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, राधा की जय, गौर भक्त की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण नित्यनामिने। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं, यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। First of all, I offer my Dandava Pranam thousands of times into the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishna Om Vishnupad, Astottara Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same thousands of Dandava Pranam unto the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishna Om Vishnupad, Astottara Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and also to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today. My Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranams.
So before I begin speaking about going beyond Vaikuntha, I'll try to keep it short. But a few things came up today, and I'd like to speak about current events as well, because it relates to us and our progress on the path of bhakti. In different occasions, from different sectors, in the last couple of days, we experienced something quite interesting, and many of you may have seen this in the past. Using the words of the pure devotees to justify our nonsense. Does anyone know what that's like? For me, that was one of my greatest pet peeves since I was little, because we grew up in an environment where certain persons in positions of seniority were trying to utilize the words of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra to justify all kinds of nonsense activities. Vaishnavas are Shastra Chakshushaha. It means we see through the eyes of Shastra. I'm saying we, meaning we're all aspiring to become Vaishnavas. Some of you who are watching, I'm sure, are Vaishnavas, but we're aspiring for that. So Shastra Chakshusha means seeing through the eyes of Shastra, not seeing through the eyes of the exceptions of Shastra. There are always exceptions to the rules, and those exceptions usually apply to those personalities that we know of as avadhut. Avadhut means they're so far beyond us in terms of their spiritual progression, realization, and understanding that they are beyond the rules of Shastra. Shastra emanates from their mouth. Shastra emanates from their person. Shastra follows after them. How divinely connected are they? For the rest of us, we follow the pure devotees. But we should not try to utilize Shastra or the words of Guru or Vaishnavas to justify our nonsense. I have this thing within me, this nonsense, so let me search through the Shastra and then justify it. I'm full of lust. Oh, there's a lot of talk about that in Bhagavatam. Yeah, I'm justified. Oh, there's some mention of Bhima. He killed someone, so now I can kill someone. Or today we saw an interesting thing. Vrindavan Mahimamrita says, somewhere, by Bodhananda Saraswati Prabhupada, that even the simple activities of the Brajavasis should be seen as piety. If someone is on that level, maybe they can say that. But what a dangerous precedent it sets. It doesn't mean only of the Brajavasis, it means that actually what he said is anything that anyone does in Vrindavan, even their simple activities, this should be seen as piety. So does that mean I can do all kinds of nonsense activities, very simple activities, because I'm currently physically residing in Vrindavan, and that others should see my activities as piety? Therefore no one should say anything when someone beats up the sadhus? No, this sets a very dangerous precedent. What is the level of Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur? What is the meaning of residing within Vrindavan? Vrindavan is not just a physical place. Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj told us that when we are in material conditioning, what do we see? We see the mayak covering of Vrindavan, and we're residing within that mayak covering. Only those who have transcendental vision, who are truly transcendentally awakened, can see Vrindavan as it is, because Vrindavan is transcendental and spiritual, not different from Krishna. Then, when someone is directly under the order of Guru and Krishna, and they might perform some simple activity, like Yudhishthira Maharaj, he lied, because Krishna told him to. What did Krishna tell him to do? Ashvatthama. Krishna told him to say, Ashvatthama is dead. They could not defeat Dronacharya. No one could defeat Dronacharya. He was the guru, the martial arts guru of all of the Pandavas and Kauravas. No one could defeat him, and he was fighting on the side of the Kauravas against the Pandavas. Krishna knew that the only thing that would make Dronacharya give up his will to fight would be if he heard that his own son, Ashvatthama, was dead. So Krishna knew that this was the recipe to make him lose his will to fight. At that time, Krishna told Yudhishthira Maharaj, now you should say out loud, Ashvatthama is dead. Yudhishthira Maharaj is known as Dharmaraj. He is known as a truth speaker. So he was hesitant to follow the direct order of Krishna as it is. Krishna, of course, knew that he wouldn't follow as it is, so he told all of the others, when Yudhishthira fails to follow my order properly, at that time all of you should blow your conch shells. Because Dronacharya said, I will only believe it if I hear it from the mouth of Yudhishthira Maharaj. At that time, Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Ashvatthama, the elephant, he actually arranged for an elephant named Ashvatthama to be killed, so he can tell this truth. Ashvatthama, the elephant, is dead. When he said the elephant, everyone blew their conch shells. Woo! And at that time, Dronacharya had heard from the mouth of Yudhishthira Maharaj, Ashvatthama is dead. He stopped fighting, he sat down on the battlefield in yoga position, put down his weapons, closed his eyes, and at that time the brother of Draupadi, who was also born of that same fire that she was born from, his name was Dristadumna. He was born for the purpose of finishing off Dronacharya. Krishna signaled him and he went and finished Dronacharya. What happened to Yudhishthira Maharaj? He failed to follow the order of Krishna. Following the order and instruction of Krishna, or his pure devotee, is the higher truth. He failed to follow that order exactly. Before, because he was so dharmic, his chariot used to float above the ground. After he did not follow the order of Krishna as it is, for the first time his chariot touched the ground. So this shows the value of our material truths in this world. And what is superior to that is following Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and Krishna. That is a superior truth. So maybe we are not experiencing the real Vrindavan. What is the real Vrindavan? What are the sins of the real Brajavasis? This is the thing to consider. They are not sins like the sins that we commit. And others trying to promote that our Guru Varga are presenting things which are actually not primarily to do with bhakti. For every quote that we can quote from Prabhupada or our Gurudev or any Acharya about so many things which apparently relate to the material world, they always chase those quotes with the solution. And the solution is Harer Nam Eva Kevalam. If we take those quotes out of context and we use them to support our material right to distract people from the subject of remembering Krishna, remembering his names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, and instead using those quotes to promote the nonsense agendas of this material world. In other words, using Guru for mundane purposes, using Shastra for mundane purposes, using the words of Krishna for mundane purposes. This is justification, using them to justify nonsense. And this can also be considered a very extreme form of violence. Trust me, we are born and raised in families of devotees, and we grew up with all kinds of knowledge and direct vision of all kinds of nonsense activities. And Gurukulis are also quite adept at being able to scour verses from scriptures and utilize the scriptures for endorsing nonsense activities. Anyone can do it if they try hard enough. And it's not so hard to do. Why am I saying this? Because we can go through the scriptures and make Prabhupada whatever we want to make him into. Because we can find 500 quotes of one thing and say, this is Prabhupada, or this is Prabhupada. In the same way that people will say, Jesus was all about healing the sick. But that's not what he was about. He was about awakening love of God. And if necessary to help people have faith, he would heal them. That would bring them to him, and then he would say, love God with all of your heart. But people these days have made it that he came to this earth to make Easter. It's all about the bunnies and living together happily ever after. But that's not what he says. His main point is not that. So we should try to understand the acharyas in context of their main point. What is their main point? And then we can see everything that they're giving in context of that. Not to take everything out of context and try to form some other aspect of Guru or Acharya. What is the main point? Who are they? And what are they really trying to give us? Our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj made a lot of endeavor to impress this upon us. Who was Prabhupada? Why did he come? What was his purpose? What did he want to bring us to? What is his relationship with Krishna? What is Gauravani Prachar? What is the meaning of Rupanuga? What is he? Who is he? And from that perspective, giving us the essence or the core of what Srila Prabhupada was about, then he presented the full picture. Not that we just take this aspect, oh, Prabhupada said this about this group of people at this time. Then we have a skewed idea of Prabhupada. We need to understand Prabhupada from the core aspect. In the same way, we need to understand our Gurudeva or any Acharya or Krishna from the core aspect, and then we can see everything from a holistic perspective. It is so easy to remove one or two quotes from here and there and then try to present them as this personality. In that case, we will be taking them out of context and making them look mundane, and this can actually become offensive. Why did Srila Prabhupada travel to the West? Does anyone know? Taking the order of his Gurudev on his head. He went to the West, risking his own life for the purpose of sharing the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is that? Always chant Harinam. Take shelter of Krishna. Serve the Vaishnavas. Be merciful to the jivas. How? Wherever you go, whomever you meet, tell them about Krishna. It might be that according to time, place, and circumstance, some other things need to be mentioned. For individuals, and maybe even groups, according to time, place, and circumstance. But what is the essence? So the point I'm making here is that we should be careful not to try to use the words of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava, and Shastra for mundane purposes, to justify our mundane activities or our personal mundane nonsense. Otherwise it can be considered offensive, and it is also violent to others who are endeavoring to have faith in those persons, to try to mundanize the transcendental person or Krishna.
Or to spiritualize the mundane person.
Or to spiritualize the mundane person. This borderlines on the definition of sahajya. To mundanize the spiritual, or to spiritualize, falsely spiritualize the mundane. So both of these are considered detrimental. If we have a weakness, we don't need to justify it. I'm weak, I'm lusty, I have an addiction, I need help. Simple. We don't need to say, well, Lord Shiva did it, so it must be okay. I know, so many have said this. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, he did it. Nityananda Prabhu did it, so it's okay. Rai Ramananda did it. You know, these days a guru falls down and everyone's like, well, he's pure and transcendental, so he's like Rai Ramananda. Rai Ramananda was helping those, he was teaching the young ladies how to dance. He was a dance teacher. The Devi Dasis. And he would massage their legs when they were exhausted. And people would see and they would judge and criticize. And Mahaprabhu said, only Ramananda can do this. No one else can do this. But these days, everyone can do it, and it's considered okay because Ramananda did it. We should not try to imitate the activities of the transcendental personalities. Then this justifies our nonsense. So I just wanted to mention this today because it came up many times. It came up many times. And so I just wanted to share that it's essential and important to accept Guru, to accept the pure Vaishnavas according to the core of what they're about, and not try to take the other aspects of them out of context of that. Why did they say these things at this particular time? And how does that relate to the core of their heart and their dedication and service to Krishna? This is essential and important. That's why our Gurudev puts so much emphasis on what is Rupanuga, what is Gauravani Prachar, what Srila Prabhupada came to give and who Srila Prabhupada is. Our Gurudev said directly, it pains my heart when I hear that people are saying that Prabhupada is only a cowherd boy. It hurts my heart, Gurudev said. He said, because I know that the higher or more intimate aspect is that he is serving Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan, just like my Gurudev, just like his Gurudev, just like Bhaktivedanta Thakur, just like Sri Rupa Manjari. He is just like them. They are serving like that together. And within that bhav, all other moods are fully present. This is mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Within Madhurya Ras, you have the complete maximum extent of Vatsalya. Within Madhurya Ras, you have the maximum extent of Sakya. Within Madhurya Ras, you have the maximum extent of Dasya. Every Ras. Because Madhurya Ras is the maximum culmination of all other rasas combined. So he was saying, yes, it may be that this mood manifests from time to time as a sanchari bhav. Sanchari bhav is a mood which plays upon the platform of your fixed bhav, your fixed relationship with Krishna. This is known as sthayi, S-T-H-A-Y-I, sthayi bhav, your fixed, eternal, intrinsic mood in relationship with your Ishtadev, the form of your worshipful Lord. That is called sthayi bhav. And on that platform, then, so many other moods may play there. Sometimes, mood of Saka. Saka means cowherd boy. Or Vatsalyata. Or anything else may manifest. But it's not the prime, foundational mood of that individual if they are in Madhurya Ras. So our Gurudev was quite adamant. He said, my Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, gave the sannyas mantra to Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Did he make a mistake? And so our Gurudev begged when people were trying to convince him otherwise. You can believe what you want. Go ahead, accept what you want. But I know, and I request you not to try to convince me otherwise. In other words, don't disturb me. Don't disturb my understanding. I have had these conversations with him. They lived together for years. They served together. Srila Gurudev said, we have it in writing, and I remember hearing him say it, how when he would come to Radha Damodar temple and sit with Srila Prabhupada, together they would do kirtan. Together they would serve. They would cook for Radha and Krishna together. And he said how Prabhupada, when he would chant Shad Goswami Ashtakam, Bande Rupa Sanatano Ragujago Shri Jiva Gopalako, how he would be weeping and crying so much. He said this is one of his favorites. And the other one, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. We don't have a recording of Prabhupada singing Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, but we have a recording in our Gurudev's heart. And he told us that he would go there and Prabhupada would chant Shri Rupa Manjari Pada and weep and weep. So this was the position of our Gurudev. He said, I know who he is. This is my Gurudev. I am accepting my Gurudev's knowing who he is. Why? Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhyari yayali bhir yukti rapekshaniya tatrati dakshad atiballabhasya vande guru shri charanaravindam. What is my Gurudev doing? He's serving Radha and Krishna within the Nikunjas of Vrindavan in a female form, as an assistant maidservant of the gopis. And if he knows who Prabhupada is, that means Prabhupada is also doing the same thing. I know who he is. And again, and again, and again, 1,000 times, he said it. He told us, and he said, this is the meaning of Rupanuga. This is the meaning of Rupanuga. So I don't know why I spoke about that. It just came up very strongly in me at this moment, but I needed to share that. Do you know why I told that?
I have no idea.
Okay. So from here, we will continue to going beyond Vaikuntha. This is the Bhav Anuvad, the commentary of our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj on the brilliant work of Sri Sanatan Goswami, which is known as Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So first and foremost, we will offer the prayer from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami to Sanatan Goswami, Vairaga Juga Bhaktiva Samprayatna Apayanan Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripam Budirya Paraduka Duki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that maybe even a particle of their moods which are present within these pages manifest within our hearts. What a beautiful place to start. So yesterday, Srila Gurudev was telling...
Prabhu said because it needed to be said.
It needed to be said. Oh, I know why. Because I was speaking about taking these pure devotees in the context of who they are. What is their core? If we understand who they are and what their core is, then we can understand in context everything else they have given. We should not take them out of context of their core. And so I was telling who is Prabhupada and what is his core. Gurudev was adamant that... I just wanted to say, Gurudev was adamant that that is his core. And so we can understand what he's doing based on his foundation. That is Guru Tattva, especially Rupanuga Guru Tattva, Rupanuga Guru Varga. What is their core? Then we can understand everything else they've given in context. Context is so essential. So essential. So yesterday Gurudev was speaking about Jayanta, the guru of Gopkumar. By this time, Jayanta would manifest when Gopkumar would have a question in his heart. His guru would manifest in front of him, answer the question, and then disappear. Manifest in front of him like lightning, and then disappear again like lightning. But Srila Gurudev is now saying, but we are so fortunate that we have been given the opportunity to spend so much time in the personal company of our Guru. Every day we speak with him, and he gives us personal instruction and everything. Therefore, we are not really such qualified recipients. If we were, then shining like electricity, the spiritual master would appear and give us one or two relevant thoughts which we would keep with us for all time. So now Gurudev is saying, we have had so much time with our Gurudev, and yet even then we're so unqualified that we can't really remember, or we're not able to put it to heart and really follow what he's given. For Gopkumar, his Guru would manifest and disappear, just give one instruction and he would take it completely to heart and follow with his life and soul. For us, we can have so much time, so many years. We can hear so much and practice so much. And then when the test comes, we can fail it miserably. Death is at your doorstep. What are you going to do? Well, what have we been instructed to do by our Gurudev? By our Guru Varga, by Shastra, by Krishna, by Mahaprabhu. Chant and remember. Chant Hare Krishna and remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna. Death is at your doorstep. What am I going to do? What is my test? The test has come. The problem is we don't accept that death is on our doorstep. It is on everyone's doorstep at every moment. But we tend to think, oh, it's only happening to them. Oh, that one got sick over there with a lung infection. They're the ones who are going to die. It's every single person at every moment. And this is the message of all of our gurus and all shastras. But we tend to think it's not happening to me now, it's happening to them over there. So we haven't even accepted that basic foundational instruction from our Guru Varga. This is a sign of extreme spiritual weakness and also a sign of density. We can use the same sound for density. You know that feeling when you come in front of Gurudev and you're there listening to Harikatha and you think, I can absorb all of this, and then you walk away and someone asks you, so what did he say? And then you go, I don't remember. And then you realize, I am so dense, I am like a brick. Nothing penetrated. That's why I'm not able to follow. Because I didn't take it in. Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj, he spoke about what real hearing is. And he gave a very simple, practical example of what hearing is not. So there was a child who was watching television, and his mother comes and says to him, it's time for dinner. Turn off the television, wash your hands, and come on. He said, yes, yes. Okay, I'm just now coming. 10 minutes goes by. She comes back in the room. Hey, I told you it's time for dinner. Let's go. Yeah, I heard you. I heard you the first time. 5 minutes later, she comes in and turns off the TV. And he's like, hey, why'd you turn that off? She said, because I already told you twice that it's time for dinner. He said, when did you tell me? So Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj explained that one can claim to be hearing, but if they do not act upon it, then it is not real hearing.
I'm just absorbing.
Okay. So Devi's looking at me like, you have not heard. Because she's my wife, so she knows. She's told me so many times. And I'll be like sitting there doing something, typing something, and I'm like, And then later on, she'll like, we talked about this. And I'll say, what? What do you mean? I don't remember anything.
I am witness.
Subi has witnessed. And this happens on a regular occasion. So I am proof to this, what I'm telling. And I've also done the same thing in front of my Gurudev. I thought, I'm absorbing, I can understand. And someone walks up to me and goes, what did he talk about? And I'm like, This is a weakness. It's a weakness. It's a weakness for me both materially and spiritually, unfortunately. So here, Gurudev is saying, if we were qualified recipients, then shining like electricity, the spiritual master would appear and give us one or two relevant thoughts, which we would keep with us for all time. Did you want to add something there?
Well, I just wanted to say that Srila Gurudev also did express the fact that even though we are weak and we can't remember, he gave the example of Narahari Seva Vigraha quite often to us. This is why Gurudev would always travel and say, I have come to remind you to chant, to remember, to follow. But he would give that example, and I wanted to just say that because a moment's association will not go in vain. Even if we don't feel enlightened in the moment, there is no loss. And can you express that? Because I think it's also important.
So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in this endeavor, even a little progress on the path will save one from the greatest danger. There is no loss or diminution. So anything that we do that is favorable for bhakti, including attending Harikatha, even if we don't realize it, some effect is being made. Like Srila Prabhupada always said, even if a child doesn't realize it and he touches something hot, if he touches fire, the fire will burn. It has its effect. And one time Sudevi, she was afraid to touch Srila Gurudev's feet. This was in 1996, because in ISKCON they told us, if you touch the feet of the gurus, you will give them your karma and they will become sick. So we were all afraid of touching the feet of the gurus. So she told Gurudev, I'm afraid to touch your feet. And what did he say?
Because I don't want to give you my karma.
Say it loudly.
You know. I said, I don't want to give you my karma. And he smiled and he said, you shouldn't think like this. He said, if you ever meet any Vaisnava, you should understand that from every pore of their body, bhakti is emanating from. The success of the body is to bow your head at the feet of the Vaishnava. The success of your hands is to touch their feet, of your eyes to see them, of your ears to hear them, of your nose to smell the garlands that they have worn, and of your mouth to retell their harikatha or take their mahaprasadam. He said, so you shouldn't have this kind of idea of the Vaishnava.
So from every pore on the body of the pure devotee, prema atoms are emanating. And this is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Saffron particles are emanating from the body of the pure devotee, radiating. So there's some kind of transcendental radiation which takes place just being in the vicinity of and seeing and hearing from such a personality, whether we realize it or not. It is having a purifying effect. It's not that there is a loss. One time we were in Govardhan with our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And he said and acknowledged, you are not qualified to hear all of these things, I know. He said, I know that just like, he actually mentioned that we will immediately vomit it. What he gives us, we will vomit that thing out. He said, but I see it like this. And then he told one katha. There was one Vaishnava, disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, whom he saw as his own Shiksha Guru, who was very, very near and dear to all Vaishnavas. He was nicknamed by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Seva Vigraha Prabhu, and his name was Narahari. So Seva Vigraha means the embodiment of Seva. And he was like a mother to all of the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So this Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu had become very, very ill physically. He was so sick that he could not even take water. Maybe some of you have experienced that. If you've come to India and caught any severe disease, maybe you understand what that's like. So he was so sick that even a spoon of water, immediately he would vomit it out. And he was about ready to leave this world. So our Param Gurudev took permission from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. May I bring him to a doctor? I know a very good doctor. The Saraswati Thakur gave him permission, and our Param Gurudev Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj brought this Narahari Seva Vigraha to this special, very, very expert Ayurvedic doctor. The doctor gave his prescription. How many? Was it one or two?
One teaspoon.
1 teaspoon?
1 teaspoon or
Tablespoon.
Yeah.
That he should be given a tablespoon of ghee a day. And then increase it from there. And our Param Gurudev said, are you kidding? He can't even take water. 1 drop of water and he vomits it. How can he take ghee? It's so heavy. And the Ayurvedic doctor said, I'm aware of this. I'm aware that he won't be able to handle it. But my thinking is like this. As the ghee goes in, and he's also vomiting it out, a slight coating will be made in his stomach. Some coating will be made, a thin coating, because it's going in and coming out, but some residue will remain. And over time, this will give him strength to be able to digest water. And then gradually he will be able to digest the normal prasadam again. So Gurudev said, so I see it like this. I know that you're not able to receive what I'm giving you. I'll give it to you and immediately you'll go and vomit that out. But gradually a coating will be made. That means some sanskar, some impression, gradually will be made, by which eventually you will be able to digest what I am giving you. So we should understand that although we may be like that person who has no capacity to retain what we have received, still Hari Katha, spoken from the mouth of the pure devotee who is in touch with Krishna, is also part of the Svarup. It's the intrinsic constitutional nature of the soul. I read this from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, from Gurudev, yesterday, in Raya Ramananda Samvad, I believe. He was speaking about this, Sankirtan, glorifying the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord, and also hearing that is part of the constitutional nature of the soul. Therefore, it is our soul's dharma. He said a soul without dharma is nothing. Nothing. Anything without its dharma is considered nothing. Everything has its essential elements to it. This is Jaiva Dharma chapter 1. So Gurudev was explaining that the soul's dharma is samkirtan, means together with others in love and affection, remembering Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. Isn't that beautiful? I was so excited, I don't know what time it was, probably midnight, and I was like, Sudevi, check this out! I read it to her. So this point that Sudevi wanted me to make, it's very essential for us to think about also. It's not that it is gone in vain, but still Srila Gurudev is saying that it is a sign of our weakness that we're not able to fully retain it and run with it. The other thing is, sometimes the idea is, well, I've done so much bhakti in the past, and whatever I've done will never go in vain. It cannot be lost. It will not be reduced. So I've got it made. But, one thing, it can be covered. And it can be covered for a long time. I'll give you an example. One time a very prominent personality from one Sangha came to Nubraj while Gurudev was giving Harikatha. And that personality had made a lot of offenses to many Vaishnavas. But yet they were sitting there in front of Gurudev and hearing Harikatha. So I was very concerned for that person. So I ran to Gurudev after the class and I said, Gurudev, the nature of all souls is that they're eternal servants of Krishna, right? He said, yes. And I said, and that can never be lost, right? He said, correct. And I said, so if someone has done so much bhakti sukriti in the past, but afterward made so much aparad, what hope is there for them? And Gurudev looked at me very concerned, and he said, they can make progress. But he pinched his fingers together like this, very hard. But it will be very slow. Very slow. So yes, it might be that we have not lost what we've already received, but it can be covered. This is the nature of this material world. We can become bound because we're not beyond being bound yet. So what little bhakti sukriti we have made can be covered. It's still there, and we can continue from that point. But we've seen it time and time again. How many times in our own sojourn, through our own progress on the path of bhakti, have we become covered again and fallen from that? And then we hit ourselves, oh my God, not again, I did it again, I forgot. So we shouldn't fool ourselves. We shouldn't pretend and fool ourselves into thinking that, oh, everything I've done it's good, so it doesn't matter. I can stunt myself for millions of lifetimes. I shouldn't take it so cheaply. I shouldn't just think, oh yeah, I did this much in the past, so now whatever. Then what? This creates pain in the hearts of our Gurudevs. Srila Govinda Maharaja said, you cannot imagine the shock, the pain that comes to the heart of Guru when he struggled so hard to rescue that jiva from the ocean of material suffering. He has struggled so hard, and that disciple rejects him and goes the other way and dives back into that ocean. He said, you cannot imagine the pain and the shock that comes to Gurudev. So we should also have this kind of concern. They have that concern for us, more than millions of mothers. Compassion, love, affection, hope, prayer, desperate struggle to help us, to rescue even one jiva from this world. And what can we do in reciprocation? Oh my Gurudev, I know that you have done so much to try to help me. Let me give even a little bit back. Let me not neglect what you have given to me. And I'm speaking to myself as well, especially. That let me not neglect what you've done, the hard work. You've given me so much, and yet so neglectful. At that point, then we need to really cry for help. I'm so weak, even after so much association. I'm so unqualified that I'm not able to keep it or run with it. Whereas someone who's really deeply sincere, only one moment or 2 moments. Look at Srila Prabhupada. How many meetings did he have with his Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada? Maybe 10? And not so long. It's not like he was living with his Gurudev physically. If you think about it in terms of us and our relationship with our Gurudev, I mean, think about yourself or anyone else. Imagine saying, oh yes, I saw that devotee, he came to the Badger Festival, he came to this festival like that. He wasn't a prominent figure, sannyasi, preacher, or anyone. But what did Prabhupada do? He wasn't at that time known as one of the most prominent personalities. There were so many who were big sannyasis running centers and everything. Prabhupada still had his business, he had his family, he had so many things. And yet he took that instruction so deeply into his heart. From those momentary associations of his Gurudev, he kept them with him for all time. And just see what he did with those instructions. So this is the perfect, brilliant example of what our Gurudev is speaking about. That just those momentary appearances and giving 1 or 2 relevant thoughts, he kept them with himself for all time. So Gurudev is saying, then the Gurudev would vanish. Like feeding us milk. Have you seen, Gurudev is saying, like feeding us milk. Have you seen a dog with her puppies? She comes and feeds them milk. And when she again leaves from there, the puppies race after her. But she nudges them away and proceeds, leaving them standing at a distance, just watching. And then finally they return home. Like this, the Guru will come, nurture the sentiment of the disciple by giving some relevant instruction, and then vanish. So here we go. Here's another meaning of Sarvasva Tomar. That you are like my master and I am like your dog. How we should be. Only taking that nectar from the transcendental source, like the chatak bird. Only drinking, not from the puddles of this world, but from the nectar falling from that constellation, Swati Nakshatra. So Gurudev is giving this example. That the mother comes, gives some nourishment, then goes out and for any reason, then comes back. So we should also be like this. We should maintain that nourishment and that loyalty. After residing in Vrindavan, just so you know, this also applies to, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. Diksha Guru steps out, and then Shiksha Gurus manifest, and they also come and give nourishment, and then they step out. We should not think that just because my Guru has left, now I am qualified.
Or now I'm alone.
Or now I'm alone. Gurudev said, really, to think, I'm going to adjust it a little bit, because it's perfectly in context. To think that I am alone, that there is no pure devotee available for me in this world, Gurudev said this is an atheistic opinion. This denies Guru Tattva.
What do you adjust?
I only added the words to think I'm alone.
Oh.
Gurudev said to think that there's no pure devotee available in this world is an atheistic opinion. This world exists solely because Krishna has the tendency to give mercy. And we need his mercy. And that mercy manifests in this world in so many ways, but especially for us in the form of the pure devotee, Sri Guru, Sadguru, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, Vaisnavas, to help us. That's how his mercy manifests to us. Gurudev said, without the presence of a pure devotee in this world, it would cease to exist in a moment. Srila Govinda Maharaj also echoed these same sentiments. Other of our Guru Varga have also said very similar things. It would cease to exist. There would be no need for it, no reason for it. Because the purpose of this world which is mentioned in Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, the purpose for its existence is so that Krishna can give his mercy, because he has this nature of being compassionate. Everything is from him and for his purpose. So Gurudev is now saying, after residing in Vrindavan and performing bhajan for some time, Gopkumar became absorbed in prem. Then one day he beheld the most wondrous vision. Wearing yellow cloth, playing the flute, smiling and speaking to him with his eyes. Speaking to him with his eyes. Sri Krishna was suddenly present before him. Gopkumar cried out, "Oh, my very life!" and raced after him. Coming near to Krishna, he tried to embrace him, but just then Krishna disappeared. Crying and crying in deep separation, Gopkumar fell to the ground, unconscious. While in his unconscious state, he saw a beautiful golden airplane appear before him at the speed of mind. Inside it were those same 4 residents of Vaikuntha, whom he had met in Shivalok and who had spoken some tattva to him. They said, "Please come, now we are proceeding to Vaikuntha." Mostly still in an unconscious state, Gopkumar stood up and sat inside the airplane. When he opened his eyes, he thought, "Where am I? What is this place?" He found himself in a waiting room at the gates of Vaikuntha. Did you know there were waiting rooms at the gates of Vaikuntha? His guardians told him, "Please wait here. We are going inside to obtain the order from the Lord, and then we will take you inside." We have even seen how Jai and Vijay stopped the 4 Kumaras. They even stopped Lakshmi once, and that's why she cursed them. So there is a waiting period. Saying this, they went inside and took quite some time to return. During this time, Gopkumar saw, one after another, many eternal associates of Bhagavan entering through the gates. They were carrying presents and paraphernalia for the puja of Srimad Narayan. Seeing their shining effulgence, he mistook one of them to be Narayan himself. In Vaikuntha there is something called sarupya. Means they have appearances similar to the Lord. One of the things which defines him as different from them is that he has 3 lions on his chest, representing Lakshmi Devi, known as Shri Vatsa. It is the lines on his chest. And otherwise they all have such similar appearances. So he mistook one of them to be Narayan himself, and offering his pranam said, "O Narayan, O Lord, please be merciful to me." The devotee replied, "Oh, don't call me Narayan. I am not Narayan. I am only the servant of Narayan." Everyone that came was greeted by Gopkumar in the same manner.
He's a common boy.
He's very simple. He was wonderstruck at the opulence of Vaikuntha. He saw monkeys, bears, peacocks, and other kinds of birds arriving there, and they all appeared divinely beautiful. Then the 4 Vaishnavas who had brought him returned and said, "Come, the Lord has given his order." Upon entering through the gates and seeing the opulence of the doorman, Gopkumar mistook him, the doorman. Gopkumar mistook him to be Narayan as well, and began to offer him obeisance and prayers. The doorman put his hands over his ears And the party proceeded further until they reached an interior chamber. There, accompanied by Lakshmi Devi herself, and with Nard and other sages at his side, was Sri Narayan, reclining to one side on his elbow. He was chewing betel nuts and appeared very splendid. Gopkumar offered pranam, and Narayan raised his hand in bestowal of blessings and said, "You have given me so much suffering." For millions of years I have been waiting for you, thinking, when will he come to me? Millions of years have passed, and until now I could not find any pretext to bring you here to Vaikuntha. I was very upset about this. But I saw that you didn't have even a little desire to meet me. If you had only chanted even one of my names, just once, kept association with my devotees, or offered some service to a saint, but you did nothing at all. Even if you had circumambulated a temple just once, one particular pigeon did, and I awarded him entrance into my abode. I could have done the same for you. A hunter with a bow and arrow shot this pigeon who was seated on the branch of a tree, and the bird fell to the ground. In its wounded condition, unintentionally, the pigeon circumambulated the temple one time before dying. From that, it attained enough merit to take a human birth and begin voluntarily associating with my devotees. Then, in its next birth, it came to me. In the bhajan, Bhajahure Mana Shri Nandanandana, Abhaya Charanar Vindare, there it says, Durlabhamanava, this human form of life is extremely rare. Durlabh. What should we do with it, with this human form? Durlabhamanava Janama means this human form of life. What should we do with it? Satsang. We should take association of the devotees of the Lord. By that, everything would be accomplished. Srila Gurudev mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has condensed all of the instructions, all of the different limbs of bhakti to 5 main limbs. Sadhu Sangha, associating with the pure devotees of the Lord. Nam Kirtan, always chanting the names of the Lord, glorifying His forms, qualities and pastimes. Bhagavat Shravan, hearing the glories of the Lord from the mouth of the pure devotees, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavat Shravan, there are 2 Bhagavats. It means Srimad Bhagavatam, it also means the Mahabhagavat. There's no difference essentially. Bhagavat Shravan, Mathuravas, residing within Brajmandal, or at the feet of the pure devotee, because they carry Vrindavan wherever they go. And the last one, Sri Murtir Shraddhaya Sevan, worshipping the deity form of the Lord with love, faith, devotion, and affection. Srila Gurudev explained that by following the first principle, Sadhu Sangha, automatically all of the other principles will be done. This is the most essential thing. By Sadhu Sangha, everything else will be done. But according to Shastra, without that first one, nothing else can be done properly. Why? Pratamam tu gurum pujam. First of all, you must worship Guru. Otherwise, anyatha nishphala bhavet. Everything else will be rendered fruitless. Tadhyanam samarchanam. More than the worship of Vishnu or Krishna is the worship of his devotee. And Krishna even says that himself. Who says they are my devotee? They're not my real devotee. Who is the devotee of my devotee? They are my real devotee. These principles are echoed again and again, thousands of times, and our Guru Varga have highlighted them so that we don't waste time. So Srimad Narayan is telling that he took his human birth and began voluntarily associating with his devotees. This really should be our aim and aspiration. If we associate with devotees, then real devotees. Why am I saying real devotees? Because others who are weak, it's not that we should not associate with those who are just like us. As long as we associate with the aspect of that person who will encourage us to remember Krishna, encourage us to serve Krishna and Krishna's devotees, encourage us to chant the names of Krishna. Because these days, in the name of being devotees, and you all know it, oh, look, they're devotees. Let's associate with devotees. So then, as devotees, we all get high together, or we all go to the movies together, or we all do some other nonsense thing together, or people sleep together, or do whatever. Just so many nonsense activities which are not devotional. So this is not associating with devotees. Does that make sense? I'm not associating with the devotional side of that person. What does associating with devotees mean? Associating with devotees means I'm associating with someone who is devoted to Krishna. So what would someone who's devoted to Krishna give me in terms of association? Encouragement on the path of bhakti. So when we come together with devotees, then what should we do? Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vas, Sri Murtir Shraddhaya Sevan. All of the activities of bhakti. This is devotee association. We can encourage each other or we can pull each other away. But that pulling each other away is not devotee. That is the other side, the demon within, if you want to call it that. That thing which is not manifesting devotional sentiments in others or myself, we cannot call that part the devotee. The devotee is the aspects or the practices that we are doing which will increase our devotion to Krishna. So in this case, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states that Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoy Sadhu Sangha. What it gives birth, what is the root of giving birth to devotion to Krishna, Krishna Bhakti? That is Sadhu Sangha, associating with devotees. Krishna Prema Janme Tenho Puna Mukya Anga. How essential is that association of devotees? Even Krishna himself is greedy for that. And even after the attainment of perfection, Krishna Prema Janme Tenho Puna Mukya Anga. Still, the most essential thing is association with Krishna's pure devotees. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Panuga Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. We actually read a whole page and a half today.
Hare
So thank you very much for being with us today. I'm sorry if I said anything that may have pinched anyone's heart. If I did so, please forgive me. It was not my intention. And if I said anything good, you should know that that is due to the mercy of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. And we look forward to being with you again tomorrow to continue reading and discussion of this fabulous book. If you're going beyond Vaikuntha. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Radhe
Thank
Radhe.
you. Radhe Radhe. Hari Bol.